lighting the flames of faith, a call to service. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Fred Mercado lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And please join me in prayer. And what I know is that there is only one life, one love, one power, one presence. And it is all-knowing, all-encompassing, and everywhere present. It is infinite, and it is beyond all comprehension of life itself. It simply is. And I know that I am one with this power, and I know that everyone that I encounter is one with this power, and we are all connected with that source, connected with each other in love, in harmony, and in peace. And so I declare that this service is already a divine idea in the mind of God, and that each one here receives a gift of love, a gift of community, a gift of wisdom by means of everything that occurs in this service today. The message, the music, the fellowship. Everyone here leaves here uplifted in a higher state of consciousness. And I'm so blessed. And I'm so grateful for knowing this truth and for each one here. So I simply let it go. I know that Spirit has heard my word, and therefore my word is done. And let's say together, and so it is. And now, Reverend Dr. Heather Dawn Clark.
Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley, where, as usual, we will discuss ideas that can be used in your own life as tools for transformation. When you use these tools, your life is transformed, and when your life is transformed, the people around you seem to change, and the world becomes a better place, a world that works for everyone. So welcome home. I'm very happy that you joined us this morning. I'd like to begin by introducing the people who are on the platform with me. And you already met my platform assistant, Reverend Karen Allen, who has triple duty today. Karen just found out minutes before the service that she was on, so she doesn't have an assistant. She is going to be doing that part of the service by herself. Our wonderful band, Diane King-Van at piano and keyboards. Our music director, choir director. Ed Cusby on guitar, David Page on drums, and Bill Dixon on bass. Our guest vocalist this morning is Wade Wooldridge, and our song leader is Reverend Karen Allen. And we're going to stand and sing our opening song together. It's a good one. We love it, and this is our last time to sing it. Get together.
Love is but a song we sing, and fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Know the dove is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. If you hear this song I sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both, it's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Time to love one another right now. Right now, right now.
Oh, you sounded good. Give yourselves a hand. Greet the people around you, and then we'll declare our principles. And please be seated. And let's join together in our declaration of principles. I believe in God, the one creative intelligence operating through the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates upon a law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect spirit can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is. I'd like to acknowledge those of you who are in service today or have been in service this week. So if that's you, would you please stand so we can give you a lot of love? Without your service, any nonprofit would struggle to do all of the many things we do. So we thank you, thank you, thank you. A special group, a subset of that group, are our practitioners, and they are remaining standing. Practitioners are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer. And if you want your life to be changed completely, for the better, make an appointment with one of them. And you will be so happy you did. To get a taste of that on Sunday, you get a short session with one of the practitioners. They will be either at the 2 affirmative prayer tables back there or in the tranquility room in the back. The people in service this morning are Dave Friedman, holding the high watch, Reverend Bruce Fredenberg, and Fred Mercado, and Reverend Karen Allen. And I'm not sure... And Karen's got triple duty this morning because she's going to come forward, read our affirmation, and then we're going to read it together.
Today and always, when I notice fear, I breathe deeply, release it, and step in the direction of my intuitive guidance. Fear is false. Intuition is spirit. I choose spirit always. Say it together. Today and always, when I notice fear, I breathe deeply, release it, and step in the direction of my intuitive guidance. Fear is false. Intuition is spirit. I choose spirit always. And so it is.
This is the time that we get quiet in our service and have a very brief meditation. We begin by chanting. Then I'll lead you in a very short meditation, some quiet time, and we'll close with the same chant. It's a Melissa Felipe. I am remembering who I am. And remembering who you are. Know that you are love, and that that love casts out everything unlike itself. That love is the essence of all and is the greatest healing power in the universe. when fear tries to step in, love embraces it and it dissolves. And so, in this moment, if there's something that has been worrying you, don't push it away. Just love it. Embrace it. It will disappear. Say, yes, my beloved, the I am that I am is the presence of love and loves all and everything. And in the silence, for the moments that we're silent, let that love grow in you so that there's nothing else and it's seeping out of the edges of you and filling this room with the love that you are. Remembering who you are and knowing that that is love, come back to the awareness of this present moment and being fully present. If you've been out of your body, get back in. You're going to be happy you did. It's my pleasure to reinvite to the platform Wade Wooldridge.
I am dreaming of a riverbank, mist in the shrouds, the farther shore. I am standing in a wooden boat, in my hand a golden oar. Will I row against the current, or let myself be carried out to sea? Where I reach land at last is up to the river, but the journey is up to me. Time to sail, reluctant pilgrim. My fear is all I've got to lose. Life is nothing, nothing but a dreamscape, and the dream is mine to choose. I am racing corridor, endless doors on either side. I could open any one of them, step on through and change my life. Sometimes I pause here on the threshold, afraid to leave my bright familiar home. Sometimes I spend my days running by so quickly that I don't see the doors at all. Step on through, reluctant pilgrim. My fear is all I've got to lose. Life is nothing, nothing but a dreamscape, and the dream is mine to choose. I am waking in a forest glade. Needles of pine are in my hair. I see pathways through the underbrush, leading to I don't know where. I hear strange noises in the thicket, and I know some paths may not lead where they seem. Pain may await me, but I know if I stay here, I'll sleep right through my dream. Find the trail, reluctant pilgrim. My fear is all I've got to lose. Life is nothing, nothing but a dreamscape, and the dream is mine to choose. Let us sail, reluctant pilgrims. Our fear is all we've got to lose. Life is nothing, nothing but a dreamscape, and the dream is ours to choose. Ours to choose. Thank you.
Yeah, woo is right. Thank you, Wade. That was fabulous, and so much what we believe in, kind of what I'm going to say, but not in the same way. So, I'm not technically challenged. I'm good at this. I'm good at all things technical. Okay. Well, I'm better at it in my head, evidently. Okay. I'm not taking any more time. Barry, can you show that first slide or not? Okay, please show it, because it's not obeying. Okay, so this whole year is about joyous living. And next slide. And this whole month is about living on purpose. And next slide. And today's topic is time for exorcism. A very curious title, to be sure. Next slide, please. So the first thing I thought of when I saw the title was a movie in 1973, The Exorcist. And to help us with that, with that consciousness, the consciousness of fear, I've asked Kimberly Wooldridge to show us a part of the play that she's currently starring in. The play is Walter Cronkite is Dead. Two women are at an airport, stuck at an airport, one a Democrat, the other a Republican, and the Republican is a Southern gal, and she can't stand silence, so she talks a lot. And to hear what is usually going on in most people's minds, but for Patty in Walter Cronkite is Dead, she's talking it right out loud. Please welcome Kimberly Wooldridge.
These are precarious times we are living in. Well, planes getting old and dropping out of the sky. Well, I mean, these times, I bet that's why people here are just acting so calm, because they don't really want to get on their planes now, do they? They're all just acting like everything is fine to keep themselves from running for the exit, screaming their heads off. Because, well, this isn't right. This situation right here, this is not comfortable. Planes getting old, sitting out in the rain at the gates, rusting away by the second. You know, my heart rate is just as normal as can be. Well, now that is not right. Well, we should be disturbed by this. You know, that reminds me about wanting to go see that Exorcist movie when it first come out. Well, my sister, she says to me, now, Patty, don't do it. Don't go. Now, that is the scariest movie that I ever did see. So, of course, I grabbed my husband, Marty, and we went to see it that same night. But, well, let me tell you, now that was more than just being scared. That. I was disturbed by that. Well, the whole country was disturbed. Well, pastors preached on it. There was news articles and magazine covers. Well, it shook the country. Well, we was all looking for the devil around every 2 1/2 corners. And I knew right from the very beginning, well, with all that sand blowing around and that Arab man with one eye and that scary idol statue thing, well, I knew it wasn't going to come out right, because this was the Exorcist. This wasn't some boogeyman in the closet or boo jumping out from around the corner or any of those, what do you call them, slasher movies that started to crop up. And that Jamie Lee Curtis. I used to get so mad at her. I mean, look behind you, girl. He is right there. Well, we all knew that he wasn't going to be dead, but there she sat, all crying and all. I mean, get out of the house, Jamie Lee. He is a psychotic killer, and he is still in there, dead or no. Leave! I mean, do you think for one second that if her mama had known that Anthony Perkins had stuffed his mother and then kept her body up in that bedroom, that she would have stuck around and taken a shower? Let me tell you. Now, that woman would have had more sense. She would have gotten herself out of there. So, well, I just don't know what her little Jamie Lee was thinking, all curled up, a-weeping and a-wailing. I mean, that was just stupid. I mean, those were stupid movies about stupid teenagers doing stupid things. But that Exorcist now, that was evil. Evil. A creeping into that lovely Ellen Burstyn's rented home right here in Georgetown. What, evil in Georgetown? I'm sorry, but I was like, you know, if it could happen in Georgetown, well, it could certainly happen here in Tennessee. And that poor little Linda Blair. I mean, well, how do you survive something like that? I mean, I know it was just a movie and pretending it's fine and all, but you don't go pretending with the devil. I mean, you don't start pretending with real life because, well, as sure as that Linda Blair had no career to speak of after that movie, you will pay for that.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. When I saw the play Friday night, I thought, oh, I have to ask her to do it for you. I know some of you have seen it, but isn't that the chatter that goes on? All of that chatter about this and that, and how easily we can take something that is fiction or a movie and identify with it and have it playing all the time in our head, in our consciousness. And that, today's lesson, the message is about honoring your intuition and ensuring that the fears that keep you from acting on your intuition are cast aside, that you move through the fears, that you honor that one spirit, that one presence within you. So the exorcism I'm talking about is the removal of doubt, is the removal of fear, is the removal of any negativity. That is the exorcism. First of all, Ernest Holmes is very, very clear. We believe that the only sin is a mistake. And the only punishment is the natural consequence of those sins, of those mistaken ideas. We do not believe that there is a devil that is equal to God, for God is good and good only. We do believe that people have free choice, free will, and we can use these wonderful, precious minds and our consciousness in any way we like, in any way we see fit, and that can be something that isn't for our highest and best good. It can be something that doesn't bless us, or it can be something that brings us great satisfaction, great joy, great wisdom and love. Yesterday, many of us attended John LaMontagne's memorial service, gravesite ceremony, and then there was a beautiful reception at the Yacht Club. And the one story I want to share with you is about intuition, and we heard it at the Yacht Club. His nephew Tony told this story, and it might have been his son-in-law. Anyway, John was a captain on a naval vessel during the Second World War. And during that time, it was 1945, but before the armistice, and he was in the Japanese waters. He was standing guard on the bridge of the ship, and he was on the starboard side. And he was saw nothing, and moved to the port side. And right after he moved, there was shells fired on the starboard side, and people died. He would have definitely been killed had he not listened to that voice of intuition. His family and friends asked him, "Why did you move?" He said, "I had no idea." It wasn't something that he knew. It was something he was guided to do. And often, that's how seamlessly, how quietly our intuition works for us. It's always guiding you. Your intuition is always guiding you. And most of us don't know what bullets we've missed. We don't know because we don't see the bigger picture. We just sort of go through life. I kind of think of us as like Mr. Magoo's. Go through life, and life is happening all around us, but somehow we get to the end of, we get through it all. Knowing that we're safe, that we're blessed, that we're one with this one. These last 4 days in our journal have been the most powerful days. I really trust that you're doing the work, doing the writing, because these are the very best exercises you could be doing, ending with this one. So earlier on in the week, and Mary, if you could go back to, okay, let's try it again. I can't even get it on. Sorry. It's not, I can always tell it. Okay. Okay. So one of the things I like to remind people is that when you take the word devil, D-I-V-I-L, and you write it backwards, what you have is lived. And when we live backwards, then when we experience the devils in our lives. You know, living forwards means that we live with the awareness, first and foremost, God is our source. And God is everywhere present in us, as us. And when we live backwards, we're living out of fear, out of comparison, out of not enough, etc., etc. So, okay, next one, because I'm still not getting it. This came from Ernest Holmes, from the textbook, around page 337, I believe. And students know this. When Ernest writes in caps only, it's like he's shouting at us. He really wants us to get this. And you see, no devil, no hell, no torment, no damnation outside of one's own state of thought. And you know, we've deviled ourselves enough with our state of thinking, with our fearful thoughts. No punishment outside of the self-inflicted through ignorance, and no salvation outside of conscious cooperation with the infinite. Our salvation is our conscious cooperation with the infinite. So why an exorcism? To cast out fear, to release the old story, to live without complaints. So this has been the last few days. You'll find this exorcism on tomorrow's reading. But the last few days, okay, I'm going to go backwards. When we complain, what we're saying is there is something that is not within the divine pattern of well-being, of allness, of wholeness. So it's just a simple little exercise. Make a list of the favorite things you have to complain about, that you complain about, and you'll know. You know already what they are. You know, in Canada, it's the weather. Remember last time when I went to Canada at Christmas, I said, I'm not going to complain about the weather? I felt out of place. They were all complaining about the weather. So your favorite things to complain about, cut the list in half and make a decision not to complain about those things again. And then cut it in half again. Because what often keeps us complaining is exactly what I said, our friends and family. It's the way we fit in. But wouldn't it be better if we were the leaders and said, instead of complaining, I'm praising. I'm going to praise the good around me, and so thereby taught the people around us what, not by telling them we're teaching them, but just by modeling what they could do instead of complaining. They could praise. They could praise something in their life. So, you know, in Canada, in that cold weather, I praised how nice and warm it was in all of the buildings. I praised how dry my feet were, and, you know, the wonderful warm scarves that I'd taken with me, et cetera, et cetera. There's always something to praise. So, then, to release the old story. Each of us has a worldview that includes who we are in it and how we are as people in that story. And as I was driving to the center this morning, a song kept coming through my mind. And Diane might know it. Most of you won't. It's a song called Hi Lily, Hi Lo. And it's a song that the first lyric is, a song of love is a sad song. Hi Lily, hi Lily, hi lo. A song of love is a song of woe. Don't ask me how I know. Now, obviously, I have some of that story, and so it's about making a new story. When you discover that you have a story that isn't serving you and it isn't the truth of God in you, write a new story. What a great thing to read every night, your new story. A bedtime story that lifts you up, doesn't scare you to death, and doesn't take you into the doldrums of ain't it awful. So, and then we get to cast out fear. This wonderful, back to the next one, please, Mary. So we cast out, how we do it. List our favorite complaints. Notice the self-talk, write a new story. Next. What we will come to know is that what lies within you is infinitely greater than what lies in front of you. In other words, what lies here on the outer is nothing compared to the inner being, the inner truth of us. The inner truth is powerful beyond measure, completely creative. Every single thing that your heart desires, if you use your mind and heart correctly, it's already yours. It's like the story of the guy who goes to heaven and sees this, and God showing him around heaven, and he says, "But what's that big room? Why aren't you showing me that room?" And God, St. Peter says, "Oh, I don't want to show you." Why not? It's filled with all these wonderful things. Those are all the things we had for you that you didn't claim. All the things. So what are the things that your heart's telling you, that's for me? A really great relationship, a really satisfying work life, perfect health that's vital and strong, ageless. What is it? What is the dream of your heart? The creativity that is such a joy to do that it feels like fun and play? Whatever that dream is, it is never too early or too late. If you have the dream and you envision it and move toward it, the universe will support you and bring it to you. Now, in the old days, in the days of Jesus, the devils were, when people were mentally ill, they were said to be bedeviled. And Jesus cast out devils. So when I was looking up exorcism, you can practice the 18 steps, and you can do exorcism the old way of those old ideas of devils right now. But honestly, what good would it do you, because it's coming from a false idea in the first place? It's coming from an idea that you're inherently bad or wrong. And so it's easy for evil to slip into you. That's a lie. You're inherently good. Your essence is good, and good only. Over the weekend, I found out that my nephew's mother-in-law committed suicide, and she had been in a deep depression, clinical depression, and she was being treated for it. And I was talking to Reverend Bruce about it a little bit. As a therapist, he has, the knowledge both of science of mind and therapy, and he pointed out to me that when someone is in great pain, it's like they're looking at their thumb like this. It's all they can see. They cannot see anything else. So what I know for that family is what I know for you, is that deep in your heart there is deep peace. It's the peace that passes understanding. You don't need to know why. You don't need to even know how. You just need to make a choice. And standing on it, allow that good not only to indwell you, but to surround you and lift you up. My niece was saying that she felt very responsible for her mother's death. And that was the first thing. You cannot take responsibility for someone else. For someone else is taking whatever you said or didn't say, whatever you did or didn't do. You are responsible for you and you alone. And I am responsible for me. It's such a simple way to live our life and to live fully. responsible for me and choosing from this moment on to let that thing within you shine through you as love. When you start hearing when you start hearing that scary voice in your head, don't give it entrance. Or if it's already there, say, you're just a little tiny thing. You have no power over me. It's a little tiny thing. Don't give it any more power. Let that love that you are shine, shine, shine. I think that's the... Do I have another slide? Okay. Could you... Okay. Thank you. So if we're saying exorcism means to release all of the fears and doubts, are you ready for exorcism? Who's ready for an exorcism? Okay, all right. So put your hands on your heart and repeat after me. I love myself. I honor myself. I release any fears that I have had. They are no thing to me. And so it is. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. And now Wade is going to sing one of my favorite songs, Wade Wooldridge. Yay.
I thought she was going to mention that room in heaven that had all the Mormons in it, and said, well, we keep them in that room because they like to think they're the only ones here. You said I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me, when a moment came that stopped me on a dime. And I spent most of the next days looking at the x-rays, talking about the options, talking about sweet time. I asked him when it sank in that this might really be the real end, and how's it hit you when you get that kind of news? Man, what'd you do? And he said, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. And I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I'd been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. Said I was finally the husband that most of the time I wasn't, and I became a friend would like to have. And all of a sudden going fishing wasn't such an imposition, and I went 3 times that year. I lost my dad. Well, I finally read the good book, and I took a good long hard look at what I'd do if I could do it all again. And then I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. And I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I'd been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. Like tomorrow is a gift, and you get eternity just to think about what you do with it. But what would you do with it? What would I do with it? What did I do with it? Skydiving, driving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I watched an eagle as it was flying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying, to live like you were dying, to live like you were dying, to live like you were dying.
Thank you, Wade. That was fabulous. Let's acknowledge him again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And speaking of acknowledging, if anyone's here for the very first time, we would like to acknowledge you. We have a small gift for you, and all you need to do is raise your hand, and it will be delivered to you. Keep your hand up for a little while until people see you. There's some information. So at the very back, did you? Oh, okay. And anybody else? In that green bag, there's a gift. There's some information about our center and a welcome card. And if you fill in the welcome card, take it to the bookstore. You'll be happily given a book of your choice. And let's acknowledge our visitors. Happy that you were here today. And then if the stewards would please come forward, it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. And if this is a day for you to give your gift or tithe, if you would just hold it in your hand and put it over your heart and feel all that love and give it away. Just let it pour through you and pour through the gift. In whatever way is yours to do to bless it and accept that is being blessed. Please say with me, my offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. Thank you, band. Thank you, Diane. If the stewards would come back, we're going to receive these gifts. Please repeat after me. On behalf of my beloved center, I receive these gifts, knowing they bless everything they touch and return to every giver, multiplied, pressed down, and spilling over. And so it is. And Karen.
Okay, these beautiful flowers are provided by Darylyn Finley to thank the Jewel Tones Choir for their amazing production of Swing Time Cabaret. Thank you, Darylyn. They're gorgeous. And this Wednesday's Wisdom is going to be fantastic. First of all, we're having the potluck, so come at 5:45, bring your favorite dish, and Wade Wooldridge and the friends will entertain you with the history of America through music. And that starts at 7, actually 6:45 sing-along, and then 7 o'clock show. Don't want to miss that. It's in honor of Independence Day. And also that same day, we're having a blood drive from 10 a.m. to 4:15, and that's in the multi-purpose room. And there's an insert in your program. You can check that out if you're interested in that. We still have suites available upstairs in our executive suite. So if you know anyone, please put them in contact with Claudia or Ruth, and their information is on the announcements. And the Parent Forum, join Patty Mercado on July 9th at 11:30 in the multipurpose room. If you're interested in learning more tools about parenting. And save the date, July 26th. There are a couple things going on. First of all, we're having the Relay for Life team. So that's down at San Clemente High School. And if you have any questions about that, contact Melissa Eckelberger. You can sign up. You can walk a lap. You can participate in our group. We're having a group here at the center that will be represented down there at the Relay. And then that same afternoon, you come back here because Faith Rivera is going to be here. She's going to offer a play shop, and it's going to be so much fun. It's called Sing, Dance, Shine. And you will have an opportunity to experience some creativity and bring it the next day on Sunday. If you're participating in that workshop, you get to come on Sunday and possibly sing with her during the service. So put that on your calendars. And Prosperity Plus and Prosperity Plus 2 classes have begun. You can still sign up. The sign-ups they're on the kiosk, correct? Yes. And today it will begin at 12:30. The Prosperity Plus 1 will begin at 12:30 in the multipurpose room. Also, Julie Isola is beginning her workshops, her photography workshops, and I've heard they were absolutely fabulous. Yes, people have learned a lot, and I've seen some of the photographs, and it's just amazing. That begins on July 16th. And please take your insert home because there's so much information on here that I cannot even mention. So that's it.
Let's bring the children in.